What's going on, YouTube? My name is Ricky, and today we have a double reaction for today. We're going to be reacting to Falling in Reverse's The Drug in Me Is You, as well as The Drug in Me Is Reimagined. Those are the videos we will be reacting to today. Per usual, before we get started, like, comment, and subscribe. If there's anything you want me to react to specifically, it doesn't have to be in any way, shape, or form related to Falling in Reverse. They can be honestly anything you want me to react to. Doesn't matter the genre, whatever you want me to react to. I'm all game. Let me know in the comments section down below. I will try to get to them as fast as possible. I was so impressed by the I'm Not a Vampire revamped that I had to check out the Drug in Me Is Reimagined. And so what I should have done or what I wish I did on the revamped of I'm Not a Vampire was listen to the original version, because I've heard the song before, but it had been years since I listened to it. So I didn't really know what I was comparing it to. But now I have learned my lesson, so we will get to The Drug in Me Is Reimagined, but I'm going to listen to the original version first. There probably won't be a whole lot of stops. This is more of me just kind of consuming what the original song kind of sounds like and how they transition into the other version. From what I've heard, it's very similar to how they did what they did for I'm Not a Vampire revamped. So I'm prepared in terms of the direction they may be going. But I wanted to get the stylistic kind of composition they were going for, and what kind of like songwriting differences they were going to do for the reimagined version. So without further ado, let's start this off with the first one, the original, which is The Drug in Me Is You by Falling in Reverse. And here we go.
I heard a knock upon my door the other day. I opened it to find her staring in my face. The feel of mortal stalking still reverberates. Everywhere I go, I drag this coffin just in case.
Okay, but before we continue, I have to preface everything with, I've heard this album before, but it's been a very long time. Like, I probably listened to this album a lot when I was more so in like high school, maybe college, and that's been not, you know, that wasn't just a few years ago. That's like a decade. So just for context, I have heard a lot of these songs before. This album specifically, like, I've definitely listened to this album, and I've listened to the one after this, which I think is fashionably late. I can't words. But again, it's been a while, so there may be things that are they're coming back to me a little bit. But just know that I have heard these before. It's just been a while. Man, the hair.
My body's tremble as it shivers down my spine.
Okay, yeah.
Adrenaline kicks in, shifts into overdrive. Your secrets keep you sick, your lies keep you alive. Snake eyes every single time you roll with crooked dice. Laugh out the darkness as it tried to pull me down. The kind of dark that haunts 100-year-old house. I wrestle with my thoughts, I shook the hand of doubt. Running from my past, I'm praying feet don't fail me now.
Okay, yeah.
I've lost my goddamn mind. It happens all the time. I can't believe I'm actually meant to be here, trying to consume.
I'm just trying to get into the mind. I'm trying to see where they're going. Yeah, because this is a very poppy, upbeat.
I got these questions always running through my head.
This bass line is very prominent.
If we are born to die and we all die to live, then what's the point of living life if it just contradicts?
Halftime.
The kind of dark that haunts 100-year-old house. I wrestle with my thoughts, I
Oh,
shook the hand of doubt.
the little piano clinking is kind of nice.
Don't fail me now. I've lost my goddamn mind.
sorry, I'm just gonna comment on that little last section. Sorry, Judge. Sorry I left it on your that face for you. But like, so that last little part, the bass line was kind of doing it's like the normal riff, like the riff that it was at the beginning of the verse. But then the guitars were doing kind of an upper octave, very rhythmic, like 16th note thing over the top of it. So there's kind of a lot of movement going on. But it kind of faint in the background was a piano just kind of playing quarter notes just to keep the beat. And it kind of settled down the potential chaos it could have been. And it really put it into like a nice little pocket there. That was a very nice touch.
It happens all the time. I can't believe I'm actually meant to be here, trying to consume the drug in me is you, and I'm so high on misery. Can't you see? I've lost myself.
Oh, he's gonna belt that part.
So long, goodbye. You try to save me, it won't work this time. 'Cause now I've lost my fucking mind, and there's no fucking time. I can't believe I'm actually meant to be here, trying to consume the drug in me is you, and I'm so high on misery. Can't you see? Oh, can't you see?
I have a feeling they're gonna cut that guitar melody out in the Reimagined.
Can't you stay?
Okay, now that so I see the direction of the song and where the original is, so that definitely that bridge before that last chorus, I can already tell he's gonna do something crazy there, probably some sort of bell. He may use some screams there. So I'm very curious to see what he does with that. All right, let's get into the Reimagined, shall we? All right, here we go.
I heard a knock upon my door the other day. I opened it to find her staring in my face.
They took it at a faster tempo than I thought they would.
Mortal stalking still reverberates. Everywhere I go, I drag this coffin.
Oh, I loved the free flow of that line. Again, he did it in the revamped version too, where he kind of just like he's kind of like rolling through the words without it being rhythmic, without it having really any time. And so he just let the lyrics talk, like he let the lyrics sing themselves, essentially. Just whatever he felt, that's what was projected. That it was a lovely touch. Going back.
Everywhere I go, I drag this coffin. Just in case. My body's trembling and shivers down my spine. Adrenaline kicks and shifts into overdrive. Your secrets keep you sick, your lies keep you alive. Snake eyes every single time you roll with crooked eyes.
You know, I feel like this one, and I don't know, I should have looked up when these were released in comparison. Like I don't know if this one came first or the revamped version came first for I'm Not a Vampire. But I feel like this one is much more nuanced in terms of the control he's using, because this one's got a lot. He's not and maybe that's just it could all just be the songwriting, and he's doing exactly what he wants to be doing, and it's very possible. I mean, the dude's super talented. but like in the revamped version, he kind of went in waves in terms of if he wanted something more in head voice, more of a softer tone, and then kind of a like a normal tone, if that makes sense. But this one, he's got a much lighter approach to this one, like at least in this verse in particular, and it kind of just is going with the flow as opposed to kind of jumping back and forth that he kind of did with the revamped one. I kind of like this one slightly more, I'm not gonna lie.
I felt the darkness as it tried to
Spoke too
pull me
soon about the lighter touch.
The kind of dark that haunts a 100-year-old house. I wrestle with my thoughts, I shook.
I loved the vibrato he put on the, what was that, house?
Tried to pull me down. The kind of dark that haunts a 100-year-old house. I wrestle
on the
with my
bass,
thoughts, I
on the
shook the hand of doubt.
one more time. I didn't hear that little bass line part of the piano where he goes house and then the bass line going da 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 da. Ugh.
The kind of dark that haunts a 100-year-old house. I wrestle with my thoughts, I shook the hand of doubt. Running from my past, I'm praying feet. Don't fail me now.
Nice.
I lost my
Nice touch. Okay, so I liked what I loved what he did there because he gave this crescendo with the piano. He and the strings had this big crescendo, and his voice went the other way around. He had a diminuendo there, so they kind of cross paths in terms of like dynamics, dynamically speaking. So the instruments were getting louder as his voice was getting softer, and it kind of crossed over. But then right when you think there's going to be like a drop or a hook there, like on the downbeat of the next bar, the instruments themselves then got quiet. Like it was an immediate like shift in dynamics where the instruments, the bar prior, have this long increasingly loud sound, and then right when you think it's going to be like the crescendo, right, like the exclamation point, the accent, it dies down on the next bar. That was a very nice touch.
Don't fail me now.
Yes.
I lost my goddamn mind. It happens all the time. I can't believe I'm actually meant to be here.
Oh.
Trying to consume. The drug in me is you. And I'm so high on misery.
I feel like, and maybe it's just that I happened to hear the song, like the original, the first time, but I feel like I'm in this, my obvious, I guess not just in this version, but I feel like the lyrics in this one are more prominent, and maybe it's just because I'm kind of aware of the backstory now a little more. Before, like when I did the revamped reaction, I was like solely looking at it from a musical perspective and not a lyrical one. But I feel like but now that I'm kind of paying attention to the lyrics a little bit, it's a very nice pairing in terms of the emotion that he's trying to get through it. It's a very pained, saddened sound that he's getting with his voice, and it pairs so well with the lyrics. This is blowing me away, just like the revamped one did.
Can't you see?
Good effect on the reverb.
I've got these questions always running through my head.
Okay, a little louder here.
So many things that I would like to understand. If we are born to die and we all die to live, then what's the point of living life if it just contradicts?
There you go.
The darkness as
Yes.
it's trying to pull me down.
Sorry, I was talking too loud. One more time, sorry.
Then what's the point of living life if it just contradicts? I felt dark that haunts 100-year-old house. I wrestle with my thoughts, I shook the hand of doubt. Running from my past, I'm praying feet don't fail me now.
Okay.
I lost my
Okay, so notice that they did that same crescendo in that spot leading into the chorus, but that downbeat of the next one was much more prominent. It wasn't as laid back as the first one, and I love. I am a sucker for this when you have this choruses and verses usually repeat the same kind of melody and same kind of sound. But if you're able to manipulate the sound, whether that be by dynamics or by adding some instrumentation, getting rid of instrumentation, making it sound different while also having it sound the same, I love that. I am such a huge advocate for that. So it's not just verse, chorus, the end. It's verse with this kind of instrumentation and this sound, chorus, and then a verse with a different kind of instrumentation, and then chorus with also a different kind of instrumentation and sound, and kind of nuanced way that they're going about it. I love that.
goddamn mind. It happens all the time.
He's much more open here, a little louder sound.
Believe I'm actually meant to be here. Trying to consume the drug in me is you, and I'm so high on misery. Can't you see?
Oh, I like the sudden pause there. It was just a sudden stop, like, because the background, the cellos are kind of just they're giving this very nice kind of bed for the whole. It's like the foundation of the song. Like the piano is kind of doing counter melodies to what Ronnie is singing, but the cellos are just holding down long whole notes, holding the chords. But everything cut out at that one spot right before he came back in with the piano. That was a nice touch. Yes. Very similar progression.
I've lost myself. You tried to reach me, but you just can't help me.
Very a lovely touch with there's a doubling melody in, I don't know if it's a piano or if it's a violin in the background, but it doubled with the melody, and it kind of solidified the notes that were being sung. So you hear the notes kind of like this wide range of notes that you heard, even though they're playing the same notes. It's probably the wrong way to describe it. You know what I'm getting at, backing that up a little bit.
You tried to reach me, but you just
There's a piano.
can't help me. So long, goodbye. You tried to save me, it won't work this time. 'Cause now
Oh, the rasp that he put it on that note.
lost my fucking mind, and there's no fucking time. I can't believe I'm actually meant to be here, trying to consume the drug in me is you, and I'm so high on.
There was a very, very cool thing that they just did in the mastering on that last U. The note he used actually cut relatively short for what he, as long like he could have gone through the whole bar to continue saying the word you, but he kind of cut it short. It was almost like just a quarter note and then it ended. But what the mastering did is that it had such a long reverb that it made it sound like he was still holding the note even though the note had cut off. So it kind of gave it both like you got to hear like kind of both ways of how the note could have been sung, of it was cut short and it was elongated, which is kind of like the like the technical correct way to sing if you're in like a choir or something, like a school choir or whatever. Like usually you want to sing the notes throughout the entirety of the bar, so there's not any open spaces unless you're breathing. So that was a really nice touch that they did with the mastering there. Yes. I wasn't ready for the instruments. Okay, now that I know it's coming, I'm actually ready. Nice doubling with the I think there's a piano and I think there's a guitar there as well. Having what's the word, like kind of like a reprise of the original melody of the chorus. Like he didn't really use that melody in this version, but they used it here with the guitars and the piano. Nice touch. Very, 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 very well done. And they did the thing that I thought they would do in the revamped version, which was when you got to the bridge, or like the bridge was in the revamped version. I thought they were going to use that kind of instrumentation to kind of drive the sound a little bit, but they use more orchestral instruments, so more of like a cinematic kind of intensity. This time they actually used the instruments with laid back orchestral sound. Like the only like other instruments they used were just cellos and maybe a violin and the piano. So the dude is he's so talented, and I totally get why these two songs, like The Drug in Me is Reimagined and the revamped of I'm Not a Vampire, is so beloved within kind of the Falling Universe community because of all the trials and tribulations that Ronnie has gone through. Obviously some people don't like him for his past and will never like him, and that is what it is. But a lot of people can relate to his struggles and his recovery process to getting to where he is now, so that he can give a performance like this. It's so vulnerable and it's so sensitive, and there are other words to describe it, but he's really putting himself out there, and I'm assuming that he has a very, very, very large like say into like the composition that they're doing for these redos, or the reimagined and the revamps, because he puts like all his feelings into this one. Like you can kind of hear it in the original version. Like it's kind of like a playful like drugs and alcohol, you know, but this one he's just like he's actually in pain of like that was his past. And so I props to him for a kick-ass performance like this, that like the dude is just so good at what he does. And I can't get enough of it. So I honestly hope they have more of these in the future, because I am all for it. I want to hear this stuff. I like I'm telling you, dude, metal vocalists can do so many things with their voices that a lot of other people just can't even imagine trying to do. And maybe Ronnie's a very extreme exception because he does so many things with his voice. But yeah, he's just so good. All right, guys, that's going to do it for our little duel video for today. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Again, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe and comment with any suggestions you have. And last but not least, last order of business here. If you want, we do stream on Twitch 3 days a week, Mondays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays. Mondays and Wednesdays usually at 2:30. Thursdays typically at 12:30, all times based in the Pacific time zone. So hopefully we can see you there for that. And until then, take care. I'll see you for the next video.